So much history, so much drama, so much action. The 20th edition of the FIFA Football World Cup is upon us. Just who will take that 2014 trophy home? That's the question on everyone's mind. Five-time champions Brazil host their second World Cup after 1950 as the land of the samba gears up and the countdown for the mega carnival reaches the 24-hour mark. We begin our special coverage Carnival 2014 Brazil with an unparalleled and unprecedented football panel ever on Indian television right here on Headlines Today. I'm Shivani Gupta. Let me introduce the guest first up. With me in the studio is former India manager Eric Benny. Eric, thanks a lot for joining us. Also joining us and part of our panel is Ashley Westwood, the I-League winning Bangalore FC coach who will be joining us soon. From Kolkata, two of our regulars, Saurav Ganguly, the former India captain and also the co-owner of the Atletico de Kolkata, and Boria Majumdar, our consulting editor. That's not all. From Brazil, noted sports journalist and author Mihir Bose will give us a first-hand update on the build-up in the host country. And finally, Brazilian supermodel Gabriela Bertante, a former professional footballer who's played for the club Palmeiras, someone who has the experience of playing in Sao Paulo, will be joining us as well. Welcome all. Let's begin by taking a look at what you can expect from this World Cup. The wait is finally over. Just a day to go before the biggest sporting spectacle. Let's take a look at what we can expect from Brazil. "32 nations, 64 matches, one grand prize. To be crowned the champions of the world. It will be a mega carnival as the World Cup is held in football's spiritual home. Brazil, the most successful nation, play host to the quadrennial event for the first time in 64 long years. It's time to soak into the heat and beat of the Samba Kings. And guess what? Brazil has promised a never-seen-before spectacle. From Neymar's dazzling runs to Ronaldo's step-overs, from Messi weaving magic to Spain's tiki-taka collage. It's all going to happen in Brazil, and the South American nation have left nothing short in their preparations for the grand spectacle. Introducing modern-day technology to enhance the game. The country, however, faced problems in the lead-up to the tournament. The organisers were fighting a race against time to build the stadiums, and the protest from a certain section of the home crowd added more woes. But all that will be forgotten when the game kicks off in a day's time. The stars have touched down in Brazil. They are raring to go because the Samba show is all set to blow you away. Sports Bureau Headlines Today. All right, so the countdown has truly begun. Let's begin with Eric Benny in our brand new studio. Eric, you're liking the Brazil Carnival theme. We're sitting on the sand and we're almost feeling like we're almost there in Brazil.
Copacabana, you bet.
What are your expectations from Brazil? What is it that you want to see from this World Cup?
Brazil's always been a side that has been very passionate about football. What I would love to see is a mix of dance, a mix of samba, a mix of classic football, and a little bit of tricks here and there. And the crowd should be more than loving to be there and supporting Brazilian players. That feel, that atmosphere is important.
And Brazil's really the country to give you that, isn't it? So passionate about their sport. They come out in hordes to support their team, and they're the land of song and dance and music and carnival. You know, this is the best place for a showpiece event like this.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than Brazil. They say it's a religion. Football is a religion. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Just can't wait for the World Cup to kick off.
We will touch upon the troubles that Brazil has had as well in the build-up to this World Cup. There have been lots of them. And Mihir Bose, our eyes and ears in Brazil, is going to join us very, very soon. But first, let's go across to Saurav Ganguly, former India captain. But on this show and during the World Cup, he's really the co-owner of Atletico de Kolkata in partnership with Atletico de Madrid. Dada, you have a very, a very serious connection with Spain. Spain looking to make history with an unprecedented historic quadruple in this World Cup, winning 2 back-to-back World Cup titles and 2 back-to-back Euro titles. Where's your money? All right, it seems we're having some trouble connected to Saurav Ganguly, but we'll get back to him in just a bit. Lots of guests lined up for you. Let's go across to a very special guest who's joining us from Mumbai, Gabriela Bertante. She's a Brazilian supermodel, but really, she's on the show because she has been a professional footballer as well. All right, Gabriela is with us with the football. Gabriela, you can hear me. How excited are you for your home country to be hosting their second World Cup?
Hello, sorry, it's very bad, the connection now. I can't hear anything. It's actually so bad. No, not so good.
Can you hear me now, Gabriela?
I can hear you, but I have to pay a lot of attention. Actually, a lot of noise here where I am right now. So that's why.
All right, very quickly, let me try and ask you, how excited are you?
Yeah, sorry, I can't understand.
All right, seems like the weather gods are not supporting us right now. Lots of problems happening. But Eric, we were talking about Brazil. We were talking about the build-up. As good as a country this is to hold the World Cup, to host the World Cup, the build-up has been just as atrocious, some are saying. You know, the Brazilians themselves opposing the World Cup, so many protests, strikes, violence taking place. Really not the ideal build-up.
Yeah, it's a shame because there's a segment of society which is not for it, and there's a segment of society which is completely for it. Now, I called a friend who was at Copacabana actually, and I asked him, you know, what's the look and the feel like? He said, you know what, there are some sectors which are like the forbidden, it's not safe. But then they've deployed, almost close to 200,000 security or policemen all around Brazil in the 12 different locations. Now I asked him, what's the feel amongst the local who are pro it? He says, you know what, the locals say that, you know what, we'll beat the gringos, so we got nothing to worry. So we are going to get it. As a matter of fact, there's a newspaper known as O Globe, which is actually a political agenda-based, driven newspaper and a channel. They are saying, they are making this verdict very clear out there, which says that, you know what, you got to believe in, and you know what, we will do it. So everybody's kind of there, and there is a section of society which is not for it. But I think the lady in charge, the number one woman,
of Brazil,
yes, I think she's taken a task ahead and she's trying to prove a point to the world.
Yes, and it will be a point to prove if they manage a successful World Cup. Let me try and go back to Gabriela very quickly. Gabriela, quickly tell us just how excited you are, your home country hosting its second World Cup.
Can
All right, let's go across to Boria Majumdar, consulting editor. Boria, we were talking about the build-up, which has been far from ideal. Do you think, historically speaking, Brazil can leave that aside? Or do you think that will cast a shadow even during the World Cup?
You know, I can just put it in one sentence. It's passion versus reality. If the Brazil team starts winning, then this entire country which will be, you know, which has sort of protested, slammed the organizers and done all sorts of things in the build-up, will forget all of the negative publicity and the doom and will start backing the World Cup in full gusto. That's what will happen in Brazil tomorrow. Let there be a good start from the Brazilians. Let Brazil thrash Croatia. Let them win the first 3 games. Then you will see the World Cup has come alive. It's simple. The passion is unprecedented, but the reality is dark. And the darkness can only be overcome by performance on the field. That happens, there'll be samba everywhere.
Welcome back. You're watching Carnibell 2014 Brazil, our special build-up to the FIFA World Cup in Brazil. Joining us on the show, Eric Benny, of course, with me in the studio where we're enjoying a carnival and a beach theme right here. But also joining us now, Saurav Ganguly, former India captain, and more importantly, the co-owner of Atletico de Kolkata, Bangalore FC's I-League winning coach, Ashley Westwood, who's going to give us his insights throughout the World Cup, is also with us. Saurav, we were talking about the Spain connection you have. Lots of Madrid players in the Spain side. Diego Costa is going to lead them. Your hopes about Spain, do you think they can achieve that unprecedented quadruple?
See, you cannot predict in sport, but they've always been a very good football nation, Spain. Obviously Atletico won the La Liga, the domestic competition in Spain. But if you look at the Champions League, there were two Spanish teams playing the Champions League final, the Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. But that in no way does guarantee success in the World Cup. The World Cup is a different ball game. Although Spain is a very good football fraternity, they've had successes in the past. They've been through a year where they have won the European Cup and the World Cup. So they have history of winning big tournaments. But then again, as it in sport, it's a fresh start, it's a fresh tournament, and it's a long way to go. It'll be very important for the Spanish players to stay fit, because a lot of these players have had a long season. They've gone through to the end of the Champions League, they've gone through to the end of the La Liga, which is just finished a few weeks ago. So important for them is to stay fit for the big tournament. Yes, Spain will definitely be a contender, but for me, although I may be a part of a Spanish team, but my heart will always remain with Brazil. Brazil, Argentina, more with Brazil than with Argentina, because we've been a Brazil fan right.
All right, Saurav there talking about his heart really being with Brazil and Argentina. I have to say, he's at least picked one team that I'm supporting too, and that's Argentina. But really, everyone will be talking about Brazil. The eyes have been on Brazil. Spain, not so much part of that build-up. Maybe that's a good thing for them. Not a lot of pressure on them. But Ashley, looking from the way the sides have developed, some injury concerns for some, not so much for others. Who would be your favorites, top three favorites for the World Cup?
Myself, I can't really see a team outside of South America winning the World Cup. I mean, it's never been done before. I think the previous 4 World Cups that were played in South America won by South American sides, so it's very hard to look outside of them. They're all very strong. Argentina, Brazil and Uruguay are very strong sides, so it's going to be a closer match between them. But I think if it was to be one outside of South America, you would probably fancy Spain or France, just because of the way they seem to dictate possession with the football. The conditions we all know are very hot over there, they're very humid, so the team really that keeps the ball the best may be the team that goes on to win. The only thing about Spain is there enough goals in their side. They like to play sometimes with the false centre forward, if you like. So if I had to put money on anybody, it would probably be Brazil, just because I think they've got the strength and depth, and obviously the home support will help them as well.
Absolutely. Many are pipping them to take this title, which will be their 6th. Remember, 5-time World Cup champions. This nation has waited 64 long years for this grand spectacle. Would they be able to overturn the curse of the Maracana? Last time they hosted the World Cup in 1950. That's what every Brazilian is hoping for. We have one Brazilian on the show as well, Gabriela. We're getting our link up with her. But till then, take a look, as Ashley said, the Brazil side and just what they can achieve in this World Cup.
Neymar, Brazil. The two have become synonymous with each other. Neymar represents Brazil, and Brazil right now is defined only by Neymar. As the FIFA World Cup draws closer, all hopes are pinned on this 22-year-old wonder boy to rise and shine for his country and help them achieve the ultimate glory, their 6th World Cup title, and above all, at home. Neymar, a genuinely classy, instinctive, creative attacker, carries on his shoulders a horrible pressure as Brazil's most effective attacker by some distance. While he may be getting all the attention, there are other players who will play a crucial role too. Defender Henrique has been the headline in Brazil's selection, alongside surprise package winger Bernard. A man that Brazil rely on heavily is not too well known, but is a key member of the Brazilian team. Fred, known to snaffle up loose chances with his physical presence and Scolari's choice with 5 goals in Confederations Cup. Luis Gustavo is another underrated player, capable of breaking up opposing attacks and short passing his way out of trouble. The coach Luis Felipe Scolari, who was under the scanner for leaving out big players like Ronaldinho and Kaká, believes Brazil's spirit is their most important quality. The stats are stacked against them. Last time Brazil won the World Cup in 2002, 13 players were playing domestic football. At France 1998, where Brazil finished runners-up, 10 players were at Brazilian clubs. And in 1994, Brazil lifted the trophy with the help of 11 home-based players. While this does not decide Brazil's fate in 2014, it could be a significant contributing element. This time around, just 4 of the squad have been playing for Brazilian clubs. The previous 2 World Cups in 2010 and 2006, where on both occasions Brazil were knocked out in the quarter-finals, the squads contain 3 Brazil-based players. Nonetheless, it is a strong-looking squad with focus on Neymar's ability to cast a spell up front. Scolari has tended to go for the fashionable 4-2-3-1 with traditional overlapping fullbacks in Dani Alves and Marcelo. Oscar, Hulk and Neymar will support either Fred or Joe, who will attempt to carry on a glorious World Cup centre-forward lineage. Karishma Singh, Headlines Today.
Neymar, Neymar, Neymar. That's really the build-up of this year's World Cup. All hopes pinned on this young man. There was Pele some years ago, and now there's Neymar for Brazil. We'll talk a little bit more about him. But first, let's try and go across to Gabriela Bertante once again. Brazilian supermodel, a former football player who's played for the club Palmeiras, has played in Sao Paulo. Gabriela, how excited are you about the World Cup?
Hello, yes, but I got upset now. Everybody's supporting Argentina. What is this? Yes, I'm very excited.
You think Brazil can do it this time, don't you?
Yes, we're going to win for sure. Otherwise, all the players will be dead. They have to win.
All right, Brazila, before we go into a break, can you quickly show us some tricks with the football? And maybe that will revive some memories of yours from Sao Paulo.
Yes, I will try, but I'm wearing a heel, you see, and a skirt, so I don't know if I will do so well, but let's try. Oh. Again. Oh. With heels, it's not easier. Okay.
That is not easy at all, Gabriela. Well done with heels. You know, if it looks easy when you see it, it's not really. Try it.
With the football and the heels, but I will come back in a minute.
That was wonderful. Gabriela, we're going to come to you very, very quickly again. We're going to slip into a very short break now, but before that, here's a great opportunity for our viewers to participate in the Carnibell 2015-14 contest. This will run for a duration of 5 weeks, where we'll ask you 7 tough questions every day of the week, and the weekly winners get great prizes, 1 bumper prize at the end of 5 weeks as well. So here's today's question. Question number 1 for this week's contest. Who's the only World Cup winning player to have captained his national side for all matches he has played for them? To participate, send your SMSs with HLTCB space your correct answer to 52424. 3 lucky winners will get selected Adidas merchandise. But that's not all. Headlines Today also gives you the chance to drive home a Maruti Suzuki Swift. The swiftest participant with maximum correct answers in all 5 contests wins this car. So that's a great opportunity for our viewers.